We all have been waiting for months. Canon finally decided to release their highly anticipated firmware for the EOS R5, which gives us 8K RAW light recording and CLog3. So buckle up, cause this one will be exciting. What up guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Eddie Bear and welcome back to yet another episode. Yes, Canon finally did it and they released a long anticipated firmware update where we got access to CLog3 and RAW Light. Since this update was a major release, these features weren't the only thing they added, but they are most certainly the most important ones. To get this right out of the way, this video only covers the difference between CLog and CLog3, 8K RAW and 8K RAW Light. To show you what's what, I recorded a bunch of comparisons and I did some heavy recording time and overheating tests. And as a bonus, I'm going to show you what the true potential of the EOS R5 is, thanks to my new refined R5 cooling solution. With that said, let's begin by taking a look at how the RAW image compares to RAW light. The footage you see here is the raw footage out of the camera. On the left side we have CLog 8K RAW and on the right side we have CLog 8K RAW Light. At a first glance both images look exactly the same, but let's see what happens if we pixel peep. We are now zoomed in 400%, meaning that the image you are seeing here is a 4K image since we are working with 8K. So with this in mind, you can see that RAW light introduces some artifacts in the darker area of the image. However, if you don't zoom in this much, you won't be able to tell the difference between RAW and RAW light with the naked eye anyways, so I would have no issue handing out this kind of footage to any kind of customer. Now the big question is, how much more footage are you able to record before you run out of space? The answer to that is simple. If you're wielding a 512GB CF Express card, you are able to record for 26 minutes and 6 seconds under 8K RAW. With 8K RAW Light, you can record for 39 minutes and 53 seconds if it weren't for Canon's 30-minute continuous recording limit. Now let's talk about the most anticipated change in the 1.3 firmware, which is the addition of CLog3. For those who don't know, CLog3 is supposed to yield a higher dynamic range compared to CLog, and it mainly helps to match footage that was recorded on Canon cinema cameras that also mainly record in CLog3. When comparing the Canon EOS R5 CLog options, CLog is way darker than CLog3. This is thanks to the fact that CLog has a base ISO of 400 whilst CLog3 has a base ISO of 800. This means if you want to work with CLog3 in the future, you will have to adjust your workflow in order to compensate the additional brightness. Once the footage is color corrected, you can barely see a difference between CLog3 and CLog. Once we pixel peep, we can see a slight difference in the dark to gray areas, and the RGB parade helps us with that. It shows us that underneath the car, where we have the shadows and grayish to blackish areas, we are losing some image information. Whilst on the right side with CLog3, we can see that there is more image information in the RGB parade, and you are able to see some additional details around the tire and also in the cockpit of the car. However, one downside of CLog3 is that you will have additional noise in your darker and grayer areas thanks to its base ISO of 800, so you will have to denoise it in post. When we are comparing CLog versus CLog3 recorded under RAW light, the same effects can be observed. Even though the combination of CLog3 and RAW light leads to more artifacts within the imagery, I would have no issues using this kind of footage in any customer project. With all these new recording options and settings, I decided to do some thorough EOS R5 recording time and overheating tests. If you're a regular viewer of this channel, you know that I also did come up with a DIY cooling solution for the R5. Since I released that video, I created a more sophisticated version of mentioned cooling system, and I think it shows the true potential of the EOS R5. As I mentioned before, if you're recording in 8K RAW onto a 512GB CF Express card, you will have to format the card after 26 minutes and 6 seconds, but then you will be able to go all the way to 30 34 minutes and 48 seconds till the R5 is shutting off due to overheating. When you are recording at 8K RAW Light, I stated before that you are able to record up to 39 minutes and 53 seconds. Now here's the interesting part. If you're recording without any kind of cooling, your recording will shut down after 29 minutes and 51 seconds due to overheating. This result means if you have to go for recording time, you're better off recording 8K RAW cause it puts less stress on the R5 CPU. But if you need to capture more footage and you can't shut down the camera between takes so it can cool off, you'll be able to record up to 40 minutes, which means 14 minutes more recording time with 8K RAW Light. The cooling system I created has 2 fan speeds. The low noise mode is barely audible, and neither your camera or any mic in the scene will pick it up. In high performance mode, you will hear it, so you will have to mic up properly or shoot something where audio is necessary. Nevertheless, I still think the results are quite impressive. With the cooling attached to the camera, we achieved a whopping recording time of 44 minutes and 23 seconds. This means I had to format the CF Express card once, and this gives us 10 minutes more recording time than without any kind of cooling. Strangely, in the next test, 8K RAW Light performed better than 8K RAW. I was able to record 25 minutes more content than without any kind of cooling. Even though this test result is a massive divergent in my test results, I didn't want to keep it from you, because 55 minutes of recording time is a massive difference between 8K RAW and 8K RAW Light. In order to unleash the full potential of the EOS R5, I decided to switch my cooling solution into high performance mode, and I was baffled by these results. I was able to record up to 2 hours and 10 minutes. I even had the issue that my long time recording got corrupted, so I had to switch to the thermal image you see here to prove that I was able to record the 2 hours and 10 minutes continuously. And obviously, in order to do that, I had to format the CF Express card every 26 minutes. Unfortunately, even though the body of the camera was still cooler than when it is operated without a cooling solution, something within the camera overheated to a certain point that the overheating counter was not going away anymore. And to come full circle, I also conducted the same test in 8K RAW Light, and this time unfortunately I only got to 1 hour and 30 minutes. It kinda seems like the 8K RAW Light processing puts more strain on the EOS R5's CPU and therefore yields a worse recording time. So these results show us that the EOS R5 with a proper cooling solution can be or could have been an 8K recording beast. I have no doubt that Canon already has something up its sleeve to achieve exactly that. However, these results also mean that the R5 1.3 firmware did not further increase the recording time, but they finally gave us the ability to easily match our footage with Canon cinema cameras. Due to the base ISO difference between CLog and CLog3 and the higher noise that comes with it, I would recommend you to use CLog in well and evenly lit scenes. While for unevenly lit situations with lots of contrast, I would recommend you to go with CLog3 to make use of the higher dynamic range and save some extra details. After seeing all this, which of the new added firmware features is your favorite? Do you think Canon should include something else in their future firmware updates for the EOS R5 and R6? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked today's episode, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next one. Peace.